RogueCon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back. It's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at RogueCon23.com. That's RogueCon, RogueCon 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
Oh, this is Caroline.
This is your Bloody Happy Hour. What day is it, Caroline?
It's Thursday.
And we're thirsty.
And Anna bought us another thing of whiskey. Anna, who are you? You're amazing, Anna. How did Anna buy us this whiskey, April?
I think she did at Bloody Happy Hour.
At Venmo? Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then did she also send us some Skittles? If you're watching on the YouTubes, you can see that we also have Skittles.
That's Caroline's chaser.
I'm just trying to taste the rainbow. You're welcome.
Wildberry. Thank you. We love the whiskey. Also, if you're a new listener, thank you for being a brand new listener. We actually just hit 5,000 downloads for the month. So you guys loved this past month.
What did we even talk about?
I don't even remember, but thank you. We haven't.
We must be doing really good. It must be because of all of my talking like that. It's just, we don't talk like that. That's just sometimes.
Thank you, every single one of you who have listened, continued to listen, sent to a friend. Continue to do that because 5,000 really isn't enough. Thank you.
I think we should set a goal for 10,000.
Yeah, real soon.
Yeah. So we love the 5,000. Y'all are awesome. We do have some dedicated listeners. I love getting text messages and all these comments on posts and stuff, like saying that they heard this or they liked this part or they didn't like this or I say like too much. Like could you tell me because I will try to fix it. I love it.
Also, those of you who put your Bloody Happy Hour decal on your car, somebody saw it driving around town. So we feel extra special. So thank you for advertising Bloody Happy Hour. New listeners, listen, this is a true crime podcast. We get off just a little bit. We always take it back. And we have to laugh so that we don't leave here depressed. So, we think we're comedians. So we hope you can appreciate the humor as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Caroline, are there any trigger warnings for today?
Listen.
Oh, she just rolled her eyes.
Listen, you're going to, trigger, because you're going to be real fucking pissed at the end of this one.
Pissed.
And there you go.
And sometimes
there's your F-bomb. For all you who are waiting for it, there it is.
There it is.
Let me tell you really quick that today, can I tell you what I saw in the sky?
What?
A shooting star.
During the day? Oh.
No, at 5:30 when I was working out this morning.
Oh.
I went and I did a little a lap or whatever. And have you ever seen a shooting star?
Yeah.
Okay, what did it look like? A little white thing?
Yeah.
No. This, I don't know if it was super close. Lacey saw it too. So
I was like, this is some Austin Harif shit.
No. It was so big. And it was like a green trail. Like it looked like I didn't know what it was. I've never seen a shoot. I was like, what is that? And it was like a green trail, like going through the sky. It was huge. I had to stop and at least for 30 seconds so I could think of my wish. And then I wish my wish. I ain't telling you what it is because then it won't come true. But I just had to tell everybody I saw my first shooting star. I'm pretty sure it was like a meteor because it was so big and so bright and it was green.
Or, not Major Applewhite, Marshall Applewhite is coming back. He's on the UFO.
I did think about that.
Yeah.
But I was actually had to go away from that thought because I was like, if this bitch is not going to come pick me up.
The UFO?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to the next level.
I know. So then I had to just go back to it was a shooting star.
Just make a wish. Oh, y'all comment if you too have seen it. That way I know if there really was.
Well, apparently this is the time for these shooting stars to be shooting. Okay.
Let's do it. Okay.
Not only am I a plumber, I am now a astrologist.
Okay.
And now my faucet is leaking, not the handles. So I'm still working on my plumber degree. Do you know who Sherri Papini is, April?
Yes.
This bitch. This is where the trigger warning is coming in. I just had to go into it because I can't even.
Are you covering this story?
I'm telling you. You probably don't even know. Y'all probably have heard about her, but if you haven't, even if you have, I guarantee there's some things because recently what was released was a 2020 episode about this.
Okay. I haven't seen that.
And let me tell you, well, you're about to listen to it basically because I had to suffer and sit through this episode, 2-hour episode. And the reason I had to suffer is because her husband, Keith, is like the bigot. I said like, see, now I'm going to know when I say it. He is, I don't think I've ever seen a guy cry so much. Not just like I'm talking about it and there's like a little like stream of tears, like huffing and puffing, crying, eyes are like just interview after interview and interview with the cops crying, interview with the news people crying, interviewing here crying.
Oh, so we're going to be pissed at him and Sherri?
No, we're not, but he just is and then he also reminds me of the guy. You know how there's some guys that are in all these Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi. You know who that? Remember that guy?
Oh, the ugly guy. What does he say?
He reminds me of this guy. He's the guy who like wants to go and like kill Adam Sandler because he was rude to him in high school. I think it's like a Billy Madison or something. And he's like the creepy looking guy. And for some reason, this husband Keith reminded me of this guy. I think it's just the way his face is, and he would get like when he was crying, he would like get red, and it just like he has this like kind of a high pitched kind of squeaky voice, and I'm like, no wonder this bitch tried to run away. Okay, but let me tell you. So we have Sherri Louise Graff. She was born June 11th, 1982. Love her. Love 1982. In 2006, she's married to a Marine sergeant. And according to him, it was because she needed health care. Oh, and yeah. And so they actually never lived together. And they ended up getting divorced in 2008. And it didn't take her long because in October 2009, she found Keith Papini. Poor guy. She married him. And they end up having 2 kids, a son and a daughter, and they live in Redding, California.
What did Keith do?
Keith did something, and he was the only one that worked. She didn't work.
Okay.
I can't remember where he worked. So that's all we have about her childhood because we don't really care about her. Just kidding. They didn't really give much detail. But November 2nd, 2016.
Okay.
Keith is at work. Kids are at daycare. And Keith comes home from work, usually comes home, sees Sherri, the wife, and the kids. Well, and he's like, where's Sherri? She's not here. And where are the kids? So he's looking around, nothing, nobody. Calls the daycare. The daycare is like, the kids are still here.
Uh-oh.
He's like, well, that's weird. Where's Sherri? Why did she not pick the kids up? So he goes and does what anybody would do, and he gets his phone and he starts searching, find my iPhone, because he's looking for, I'm sure he picked up the kids, but starts looking for Sherri, find my iPhone, figuring out where she is. So he pings her phone about a mile away. Like they have, like where they go to their mailbox. It's like a bunch of mailboxes. Mm-hmm. About a mile away from the house, he finds her phone. And her phone is there with some earbuds. And there's like some hairs.
Okay.
Some hairs. So he takes a picture of it before he touches it or anything. And then he immediately calls the police. And he reports her missing.
Okay.
There's her phone, whatever. So a couple days go by. And all of a sudden, this story just blows up. And it's all over the news.
Is she cute?
Because guess what?
She's missing white woman.
She's missing white woman.
Is she pretty too? I don't know that I've just heard her voice.
She is a tiny blonde girl who has blue eyes, blonde hair.
Oh, America's sweetheart.
But I cannot. She's got a lot of gums, and I just don't like her. She has too many.
I don't like her.
I don't like her. See her?
Oh.
When you see her, anyways. So, mixed national news. There's press conferences. There's family that are looking for her. Strangers are looking for her. And several years before this, another girl, Tara Smith, had gone missing in the same area. And so, like, it kind of affected that family. And they were, like, really involved in helping and all this stuff. Keith's friends, they set up a GoFundMe. There's a reward that's set up. This GoFundMe ends up like raising almost $50,000. And I mean, everybody's just doing the most. So that was so she goes missing November 2nd.
Okay.
Question?
No.
Okay. November 11th.
Okay.
9 days later, after the disappearance, investigators are still no closer to finding her. And they start like questioning the phone, the earbuds, the hair. They're like, I mean, maybe this looks a little staged.
Yeah.
Like, let's really focus on Keith because you go for the husband, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. And they were like, can you take a polygraph? And he's like, absolutely. He probably starts crying because, he was crying this whole time.
And can you imagine, like, his videos when we watch his videos, like when Chris Watts Chris Watts' wife, when Shanann went missing.
Yeah.
You knew, like, right when you saw the video.
You could tell this guy is like weak and like timid and like pushover.
So people weren't even really assuming
I don't
him.
think so. I don't think they were.
Okay.
So he passes his polygraph and his like alibi is confirmed. His coworkers are like, he was at work at the time of the disappearance. Nothing suspicious.
Okay.
So 3 weeks go by and it's Thanksgiving morning. And a trucker calls 911 and reports a lady on the side of the road who needs help.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, where are we?
We are in Redding, California.
Okay, that's right.
911.
911 emergency. What are you reporting?
Hi, I have an emergency. There's a lady on the side of the road needing help.
Do you know what's wrong with her?
She's saying that she got kicked out of her boyfriend's.
Okay, just be safe where you are. What is she asking for?
She's chained up, her vision's blurry, and she needs an ambulance.
Do you see her chained up?
Yes. Her name is Sherri Papini.
Can I talk to her?
Here.
Please, Sherri, I need you to listen to me. Listen to me. Do you know where you are?
No. You've been in the car.
Okay, take a deep breath, sweetie. Who chained you up? Do you know the person or were you kidnapped?
I don't know.
Okay, listen, I have help on the way.
Okay.
Did he say boyfriend?
Yes.
And panini?
He said boyfriend and panini.
He was a hungry truck driver.
He was so hungry. All he could think about was going to get that damn panini from wherever you get it, Subway or Wendy's.
Did they have him on the 2020?
Yes, that's from the 2020.
I know, but did they like talk to him separately? No. Okay.
No. But he sounded like he was hungry. He didn't have time for all that. So she's found, like, wow, what is happening? She immediately calls her husband and is like, oh, honey, I love you. She's just freaking out.
She's a good actor.
Clearly.
Or is she?
So did I tell you what day this was? This was Thanksgiving Day. So it's Thanksgiving morning. She's found on this highway. She's 146 miles away from Redding.
Wow.
So she had been to Costa Mesa. That's where she was. And she had been missing for 22 days. Okay. Mm-hmm. So she's over here freaking out, all the things. She's immediately taken to the hospital. And she's like getting all of her injuries treated because, like, first of all, everybody's shocked that she's alive. You don't go 3 weeks and come out alive.
Yeah.
No. So, but not only are they shocked by that, but they're more shocked by her injuries. Now, do you know what kind of injuries she has?
I remember one.
What is it?
Branding.
Yes. She has injuries on her face, on her arms, on her legs, on her chest, on her back, bruises, cuts, her hair's chopped off, and she has lost so much weight. They said almost 15% of her body weight she lost.
What?
And she was not big.
No,
big, so she was like I heard somewhere like 84 pounds. How little was she?
Before or after?
I heard after.
Okay. She looks like it.
So there's also another injury, but I'll tell you about that. Okay. Her nose is, face issues and injuries, and her nose is broken.
Okay.
So the detectives now, they want to talk to her. They get her cleaned up at the hospital. They collect her clothes. They do all the protocol things.
Rape kit stuff?
Yeah, they do. I don't know if they did a rape kit. I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know if she said I don't think she said that she was, so maybe they didn't do that. But they collected her clothes in order to get any DNA from her clothes. Okay. So then they go and they're like interviewing her and just they're like, wow, like this lady went through it. Like she has been beaten. She has bruises on her calves, on her arms, on her face, on her back. I mean, everywhere. She's just beat up.
Poor thing.
She's just beat up, April. And she's very reluctant to speak with the investigators.
Oh.
She was afraid because the kidnappers told her that she was going to be sold and be part of a sex trafficking ring.
Oh.
And that one of the people who had her was involved in law enforcement.
Oh.
So she was scared to talk to law enforcement by herself because she thought it just wasn't going to work. So she's like, I need Keith to be in there with me while we do the interview.
Okay.
That makes everything better.
Mm.
She always needs Keith with her on all these interviews. She just needs him right there. So here is her story.
Okay.
She says, November 2nd, she was out on a run in the neighborhood. A black SUV with 2 Hispanic Latino women, Hispanic/Latino women, because they're one and the same, an older one and a younger one who are both speaking a lot of Spanish.
So when you say Latina, when it's a woman, Latino when it's a male.
Oh, okay. 2 Hispanic Latina women.
Yes.
One older, one younger. And the younger one gets out of the SUV with a handgun. And guess what? Sherri froze. And she was instructed to get into the vehicle. So she got in. But first, she placed her phone on the ground with her headphones along with some of her hair.
Oh, she purposely did that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And the car starts driving, but she couldn't see anything because she had something wrapped around her face. So she didn't even know if it was daylight. Okay. She's blind. So she thinks that maybe they tased her, but she just doesn't remember. And that's literally how
they drug her?
She doesn't remember, April. She doesn't remember.
Must have.
But you know what? All she knows is that her clothes were gone. Okay? And she didn't recognize the kidnappers because their faces were covered with masks.
Okay.
Okay? So, in addition to all these bruises that she had everywhere, just what you said, she had a brand on her upper right, the back, near her shoulder area. And she said that they brought in a table, they hit her back, they tied her to the table so she wouldn't move, and they hit her every time she moved. And when they branded her skin, it made a sizzling, popping sound, and then it hurt so bad. And the word that was branded on her was the word Exodus.
Okay.
From the Bible.
Oh, hell.
And you know what?
Brought the Bible into it.
You know what? I also heard the verse that was on her was saying Exodus 21:16, something to the effect of, if anyone has kidnapped someone, they should be put to death. Okay? That's what they branded on her shoulder. Oh. Can you believe that?
These human traffickers.
They are just brutal.
They're
brutal. So after 3 weeks of torture, torment, starvation, beatings, they just decided to let her go. She doesn't know why. She has no idea why. They just decided to let her go. Okay. So police are like, okay, well, describe the suspects. And she'd be like, well, one was younger, one had long, straight hair, one had like kind of curly hair. I don't really remember. I can't really see because I had this thing on my face. And then like her description was so vague. It took them a full year to come up with a sketch.
No.
Yes. Facts. So then she's going, like, this first interview with them was like at the police station. And then now they're at the second interview where they're at her home. And this is just still a few days later.
Okay. So
in the second interview, it shows the video. And she has this bandage over her nose while she's telling this interview. And she has her knee, she's like holding her knees into her chest with her arms around her knees.
Oh.
And, you know, Keith is right there because she can't talk without Keith. And she is providing so many details.
To not remember.
She doesn't remember what these people look like at all, but let me tell you, she knows what that room looks like that she was held in. She knows about the cracks in the walls. She knows about all the things, dirty carpet, whatever she knows. She's going Amber Heard on me right here. She says she was held captive in this bedroom, and there was just a single bed. There was no artifacts in the room. There was boards on the window, and there was a chain around her waist. And this chain was attached to a metal cable, which was attached to a pole that went into the ceiling.
Oh, was she at Ariel Castro's
I
house?
think she might have been. And then she said that the chain had enough slack in it that she was able to get to the bed, but she wasn't able to get to the closet. Then she starts describing the bathroom, and she's like, it was just a standard bathroom. There was like a crack in the tile. It was light colored tile that was speckled. There was a crack in the tile. It was always hands on the wall. It was really high pressure shower. And the first shower just hurt really bad. The burn was fresh. The water was running over it, and there was open wounds. I mean, this is a full quote.
So we can go watch this video of her saying this? Or is
yes. This is all on the episode of 2020. I know. And I'm going to play more for you. I'm going to play more for you in a second.
Okay.
So don't even leave. Do we need to... No? I didn't time it. So she has all the details. And then within a few months, police start noticing some red flags because her story is not very consistent. Mm-hmm. And they start to realize that someone who is being sex trafficked, this isn't how they would be treated. If you're being sex trafficked, and maybe our sex trafficking officer friend would know, but like, I don't think you want to mess up their looks.
Right.
You don't want to mess up their face. You don't want to change their look because that's what you're selling.
Yeah.
So they start putting all these things together, and I don't know how they didn't figure it out sooner because she just seems like very dramatic. And then all of a sudden rumors are spreading that this could be a hoax.
Good.
What? A hoax? So a year passes. Okay, we finally have the sketches. And I'll post the picture. It's just black and white picture of these people with like a bandanas over their face, and it's the worst thing you've ever seen. And it doesn't take them long. Like after, okay, so they find the sketches, and then they get her clothes. They get the clothes taken to get the DNA tested. They get a result from the DNA that says, like, hits saying it was a male DNA was on the clothing. But if she was taken by females, why is there male DNA?
Yeah.
But then they like try to match it to somebody who's in the system, but they don't have anybody in the criminal database that matches up with the DNA. So then they're just stuck.
The first time human traffickers. She's the first victim. That's why.
Yeah.
It's not in the database.
So this male DNA that was on the clothing, no hits, nothing. Okay. So they're at like a standstill. Well, then they start searching her phone records. And then they find out that days before her abduction, she had been in touch with several different men. And they started questioning her friends, and they talked to her ex-husband. And her friends and her ex-husband both were saying that she did have a tendency to lie and to run away whenever she like just wanted to get away from a situation.
She's a runner.
So one friend said, quote, "This is how she used to deal with things as a child. When things got hard, she would just run away." The friend also said there was some infidelity issues in her background and that Keith even knew about it.
Oh.
So at this point, Papini is all over the place. She's Papiniing everywhere. She's Papiniing in California. She's Papiniing everywhere. She's just Papiniing.
Every time we hear somebody lying,
I'm never going to
say
Papini. There's a Papini.
It's a Papini.
This a Papini. Stories all over the place because what she's telling. First, the kidnappers were branding her so she didn't run away. And then they branded her because her chain was rattling that was strapped around her waist. And then her kidnappers were like, oh, the person that wants to buy you wants you branded. So she keeps changing her story, and they're just like, we're really confused because the brutality, like the injuries that you have are so bad. Like, nobody could do this to themselves. So that's why they were like conflicted on whether, because they wanted to, I think that they thought she was lying, but then when they like questioned themselves, they were like, there's no way she's making this up. Yeah. There's no way you could brand yourself. There's no way you could break your nose. There's no way you could do all these things to yourself. Yeah. So that's why they just were kind of like, ugh. And then she also had told them that she did break her nose with a hockey stick.
That time or before? Or what do you mean? When?
While she was there.
She broke her nose with the hockey stick.
Yes.
On purpose. She tells them that right now? Or later on?
Well, this is what she ends up telling. She ends up telling them this later on, but that's just one of her main injuries. I'll tell you.
Okay.
So this is all in 2016, 2017. Well, a few years go by, and then all of a sudden, 2020 comes, and there is a DNA match for what was found on the clothes.
So this man went to jail.
No. 23andMe or whatever, whenever anybody, it's familial DNA. Okay. So how they do it is they can, apparently his dad maybe had did a DNA family test or 23andMe to see what's your genealogy. Like I've done that. Like I'm in the system for sure. I needed to see how much black I had in me. It was like only 1%. But so the dad did it. The DNA ends up hitting on the dad, and then they see the dad has the son, James Reyes. And James Reyes is an ex-boyfriend of Sherri Papini. And then Sherri Papini and James Reyes have a picture on Sherri's Facebook together from back in the day.
Oh,
so this is the ex-boyfriend who the truck driver was talking about. Or the boyfriend. Yes.
Yeah.
So, wow, what are the odds of this? This is crazy. Way to go, DNA. So the police go to this guy's house and they start questioning him. And I was kind of confused at first, but then I was like, oh, it's been 4 years since this has happened because it's 2020 and this happened in 2016. So the police are like, well, have you spoken to Sherri Papini? Hey, like we're here about Sherri Papini. Have you spoken to her? He's like, not in a few years. Well, because it was a few years. And they eventually, after almost an hour, he finally was confessing about all these things.
So she got away with this lie for 4 years.
Yes. Because they had nothing. They had no proof. Yeah.
She almost
got away with it. Okay.
And poor little Keith probably just been catering to her ass. And
he's just crying the whole time. He's just still crying. He's shedding tears.
Just crying.
He is dehydrated from all those tears. So the ex-boyfriend, James, goes on to tell police Sherri lied to him. She was telling him that she was being abused by Keith and that she needed to get away and that she wanted him to come pick her up because he was abusive. And I don't know how good of BJs she gives. She doesn't look like, she doesn't have a face for blowjobs. Like she has a lot of teeth and she doesn't have big lips.
Ooh.
I don't know because he drove 9 hours.
What?
9 to pick her up.
What? And have they been in touch before?
They said, I don't know.
She had been building this up. They had been talking and she was building up how
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But apparently they had no sexual relations. I don't understand how.
Oh, you drove 9 miles and didn't get laid?
9 hours.
9 hours and didn't get laid?
Exactly. I don't understand any of it. I don't believe it. But this is what he's saying. He tells them this, and the police start asking the guy, they're like, well, so what do you know about these Hispanic Latina women and holding her at gunpoint? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That I was never told about any of that. He says, she instructed me. I would love to instruct somebody. She instructed me to go get a rental car, to leave his cell phone at his house, drive the 9 hours, pick her up in Redding, and he gets to his apartment in Costa Mesa and he gives Sherri the bedroom. He stays on the couch. She asks him to put up plywood to block out the windows. And she just stays in the bedroom watching herself on the news on her phone. And he just notices she starts losing weight. And he's comes home from work one day and she had chopped her hair off. And then he's noticed she had these bruises, and he said she just kept hitting herself. And then he said she asked him to go to the store to pick up branding supplies.
What? There's a branding kit?
Apparently. I'm sure you can get it at not Home Depot. What's the craft store? What's the craft store?
Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
Or a
Ace Hardware.
Yeah. No,
I don't even know there was a branding kit. That was tiny little. But listen, she asked him to brand her. And you know what? He reluctantly agreed.
Wait, did they go to the same? Do they go to the high school together?
I just know it's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like high school love. How do you have two idiots? Like,
you should hear this guy. You're going to have to watch the episode.
I need to see what he looks like.
They didn't show his face. But no, they didn't show his face, but there's pictures of him online.
Okay.
I'll post all this stuff because I'm telling you. He is like, well, I mean, she didn't really complain at all about the pain.
She liked it.
She has no pain receptors. I've determined it. You can't burn yourself and it doesn't hurt.
Listen, she was true. She was dedicated to her story.
She was so dedicated. And then he said something about, she asked me to hit a hockey puck off of her. That's why she was hitting the face with the hockey stick. All of a sudden, so she's there for 3 weeks, and they do all this stuff. She's beating herself up. She's starving herself in the other room. She's making up all this stuff. She's getting branded, and then all of a sudden, Thanksgiving rolls around, and she says that she misses her kids and she wants to go home.
Jason, you just went to work every day and let this girl take over your room and create. You can't act dumb. You know she was in the room. Something was sketchy.
Oh. I don't understand how he doesn't.
Hit the news. You know you saw it.
Oh yeah, but I don't know why
he didn't call bullshit earlier.
I don't know how he did not get in any kind of punishment. He must have had some kind of deal I don't know about. That is very confusing to me, but it is what it is. So we're at August 2020. Now the police have this new information, and they are like, bet. Here we go. Here we go. And they know it's a hoax, and they call Sherri and the husband in for questioning.
4 years later.
Yeah. So they get him in the questioning room, slide her over some pictures of the room. And they were like, it was a photo of the bedroom, photo of the bathroom, photo of the crack in the freaking wall, the speckled tile, photo of the pole. And it was like, we have found the place that you were held. And Keith is over here like he is so excited. He's like, oh, we got these people. Let's get them. He's like in his seat, just kind of like, oh my gosh, like he's sitting up, like he's engaged. And she just slowly like sinks back in her chair, crosses her arms. So he's super excited. I'm pretty sure he started crying. And then Sherri's like, oh, I mean, it looks similar, but I don't think that's the same place.
This one has granite and the other one had Formica.
So here's the interesting thing.
The interesting thing is that she found two dumbasses, two men that are that dumb to believe her.
I know. I'm going to play one more clip in a second. They ask her, they're like, well, we have some questions for you, and we have some stuff that we need to tell you. Do you want Keith to stay in here? Well, up until now, she's needed Keith by her damn side every single second that anytime anybody's talking to her. And then she looks at him and she was like, do you think you want to stay for this? Like,
of course he does.
That's exactly what he said. He was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, this is good. Like, why are you upset? This is great. Okay. And let me just play a little something for you.
Oh, goodness.
Because she's over here saying to Keith, I don't know if this part plays in here, but she's talking about she doesn't want police to catch the kidnapper because the kidnapper saved her life and is the only reason that she's able to see her children every day.
Yes. Okay.
This bitch.
So there was one nice kidnapper.
Yeah.
Let her go.
Isn't that nice?
And now a word from our sponsors.
Rokon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back, it's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at roguecon23.com. That's RogueCon, ROGUECON 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
911, what's your emergency?
Do you hear that? It's coming from the house.
It's coming from inside the house? Do you mean? Could it be?
The Poltergeist. New from Rogue Media. Two haunted hotties talking about haunted places. Every episode we dive deep into the darkest places and give you a bit of history.
We're getting spooky in all the right places.
You've gobbled your last ghoul.
Follow along for the craziest and spookiest stories with Debbie's Dark Tourism. The Stanley Hotel,
Winchester House,
The Alamo,
Hotel Monte Vista,
and more spooky places. Find us at _Poltergals. POLTERGALS.
Look over your shoulder. It's us,
the Poltergals. Wherever you consume the podcast, you can find us there.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a 1-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
She's the reason why I get to hold my children every single day.
The detectives go back in the room and pretty much lay this case out.
The DNA that was on you belongs to James Reyes.
We talked to him. He's been on a polygraph. We talked to everybody around him. We have the rental agreements, phone rental, the car rental agreements. The reason why you lost so much weight is because you stopped eating. The reason why the brand is because he went to the store, bought the branding tools, and branded you. The reason why your nose was broke is because of a hockey stick. It's not an abduction. She asked me to come get her.
No.
I rented a car.
No.
I drove up and picked her up. He passed the polygraph test, Sherri.
If that's not what happened, what did happen, Sherri?
I don't know. No, there's no way it's James. There's no way. There's no way.
The DNA doesn't lie.
And she's like, no. You mean he's behind it? I just cannot believe that my ex-boyfriend is behind my kidnapping.
Keith is in the room when they're identifying and talking about the ex-boyfriend who she was allegedly with that whole time.
Yeah, and Keith he gets up and walks out.
He knew.
Were you surprised that she stuck to her guns even after you presented what, appeared to be this incredibly compelling evidence?
Not at all. She had spun the story for so long that
she believed it.
That she wasn't going to come off of it.
They tell her that they have proof of phone contact with her and James, and that sends her spinning off into another direction.
It's my fault that I was flirting with other men. It was such a stupid thing to do. I love my husband.
Flirting with
I love
other-
my children.
That's understandable.
It's just stupid.
Here's the deal, though, Sherri. Flirting with other men, not a crime. Lying to me today, yes, a crime.
She just went into her cocoon state where she just tried to control the interview by crying, putting her head in her hands, not answering questions. So either.
Wow. Okay.
James Reyes.
Reyes.
Yes.
So she even said, well, let me say Mexican woman. And that way, if they find out it's him, I can pretend like, oh, well, maybe I had the Mexican part right.
Yes, so now she's over here trying to say, I can't believe he was behind this whole thing the whole time. I can't believe it. When they're like, bitch, we don't even, come on now.
Yeah, no.
You got to stop. And Keith got up at that interview and was like.
Finally, Keith.
Yeah, he did not trip over his tears.
Keith knew. He didn't have the balls to ask her herself.
She then goes on to say that she won't say anything else without a lawyer. And then Keith, they take her out of the room because they're like, all right, bet, take her out, bring Keith back. He's totally shocked. I'm pretty sure he peed on himself. He can't even believe it. He tells investigators, I'm the idiot husband who stayed around the whole time. I'm like, okay, Keith, it's okay. Like, she was crazy, and
she's obviously manipulative because she was manipulating two guys.
Yes.
To believe her at the same time.
So here we are, March 2022.
Okay.
Yesterday. Sherri Papini is arrested and charged with making false statements and with mail fraud. And then mail fraud is using funds for the victim's compensation board, and she was using the money that they got for therapy, and they used it to like fix up their house.
No.
Yes. Yep.
But can Keith be in trouble for that too? No, because he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't.
For therapy? She was therapy because she was a kidnap victim.
Yeah. And so that
GoFundMe, right? That people raised.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so prosecutors ended up saying that this kidnapping hoax ended up costing the taxpayers like more than $300,000.
No.
Yeah. Wasted resources. And they in April, so a month after that, she decided to come clean. And because she was facing 25 years, up to 25 years in prison for all of these crimes. And so she took a plea deal and she pleaded guilty because this way she didn't have to go to a trial. She didn't have to do anything else. She just was like, pled guilty. And she admitted to making the whole thing up. God. And poor Keith is over here and makes a statement. He's like, my current focus, his current focus is his kids. He files for divorce. And
when she gets charged, like he finally files for divorce.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so he is trying to get full custody of the kids, which I don't know why that should even be difficult. You do not need that crazy lady around those kids by herself at any point in time.
Oh, Keith.
I know. Keith's probably still crying. So then she goes and she makes her statements and she's like, I am not choosing to stay frozen like I was in 2016. I am choosing to commit to healing the parts of myself that were so very broken. I'm guilty of lying. I'm guilty of dishonor. I stand before you willing to accept, to repent, and to concede. What was done cannot be undone. I cannot even.
What was
handle her?
Why though? Like, did she didn't even do it to get laid. Did she need a break?
I think so.
But bitch, you didn't work and your kids were at daycare.
I know.
That was the number one clue right there.
I think she just needed listen, she is obviously so dramatic. She needs somebody else who is as dramatic. Keith was not dramatic. Keith was boring and Keith cried.
Obviously so was Jason because you didn't even go over there and do the dirty with him.
Yeah.
She
did not pick the right guy to fake kidnap her with.
Her whole point, she had this planned out. She had to have planned it out before because she jumped right into it in the room or in the basement or wherever she was, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we had a great week of sex, but I want to go back. Let me start planning this. It was planned from the beginning.
She had to have. Because, she couldn't have been like, oh, hey, come get me 9 hours away like the day before. He had to know. Because she was telling the ex-boyfriend, oh, he's abusive, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. But you're gonna just up and leave your kids then?
I guess it's better than killing them.
Well, that is definitely better than killing them. But listen, that's how dirty Chad was. He needed to have drama. His mom was all drama. She could not go a second without it. And if you don't have it, you create it.
Wow.
And I guarantee this damn Papini was not getting her fill that she needed.
So create a kidnap.
So she waived her right to appeal and she is scheduled to turn herself in on November the 8th. For her 18-month sentence.
Only. Is she going to have to pay?
She's supposed to pay $309,000.
I was like,
$309,000 in restitution. And obviously we're like,
they'll never get it.
This bitch ain't even going to be able to pay that money. Who's even going to hire her? But I guarantee she's going to talk her way into some other relationship with some other dude. But the thing is initially it was going to be 3 to 6 months, but this judge was pissed about it and he wanted to set a standard. If you're going to sit here and try to do all these little crimes, even though it's it's hard to, it's not a crime, but it's crime. But so he wanted her to get as much as she could get with that plea deal. You're still going to get this much.
Yeah, because real kidnapping victims, and now we're going to have police that are going to second guess their story.
And they wasted all this. I mean, this was how many years? 2016, 28 years? I cannot. Mm-hmm. And that's the damn story of Sherri with her eating her damn panini. Panini and Papini. I was real stressed out watching this girl in this video, and y'all need to go watch the 2020 episode. It's called Is that called Up and Vanish? No, Vanishing Act. It's called Vanishing Act.
Of the 2020 episode is.
Yes.
Did it just come out?
It just was, like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering why
this
Nancy
is all
Grace was talking about it.
Yes. So it's all pretty fresh, and it's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because it's almost just like too crazy, like too far-fetched to think it could even be legit. But listen, just go to show you that these people will do some crazy things.
Let's talk about, so she blamed 2 Mexican women, and I was listening to it on, I think, Nancy, and she was like, this reminds me Joseph Scott Morgan or whatever.
Joe Scott Morgan, yes, body bags.
She was like, this reminds me of Susan Smith.
Oh, yes.
And she blamed the black guy, but it reminded me of Casey Anthony.
Jodi Arias.
Well, she said Jodi Arias, but Casey Anthony, remember the Hispanic Zanny the Nanny?
Zanny the Nanny.
Or Puerto Rican Zanny the Nanny. It's like when a white girl gets desperate, they know, let me just take all this pressure off of me.
Why do they always want to blame like a Mexican woman
or a black male? Because it's believable.
It's usually a white guy that does it. That's the thing.
That's the whole thing.
Listen, what gets me the most about this is how she beat herself up, put herself on fire basically with branding. Like, I don't understand how you can do that. I get people self-harm, but this isn't like, I don't know. I guess it is self-harming.
And then you didn't even get laid. Like, you did all this.
I know you didn't get the D. You didn't even get that D. I am not impressed. I'm not impressed. You know what? If you're going to do all this, at least get the D. Get a sex swing. I don't know. Go do something fun. Go roll around in a pool of lube and do a naked wrestling. I don't know. Do something fun.
I would understand it more if she had like a
Are we going to basically go to a porn podcast right now? Because I'm okay with that. I'm here for it. Cheers.
But it would make more sense to me if she had like a great rendezvous with her ex-boyfriend and got her needs fulfilled.
Have a threesome.
Can't.
Go add a female in there.
Then make up a lie, right? To cover up
your
what she did.
Go on OnlyFans with your feet, girl.
But she didn't. There's nothing to cover up.
Have somebody suck on your toes.
There's nothing to cover up. So I just don't even understand. It pisses me off.
I know. You know.
She created a lie just to create a lie, not even to cover up a lie.
I just don't understand why there was no sex involved. I'm really disappointed about that.
Sherri Papini.
Sherri, if you're listening right now.
Why weren't you DTF? The original DTF.
Why were you not original DTF?
Why were you not the original DTF?
We're pissed, and we think that you need to come on the show. Can you call in before you go to jail?
Papini.
Okay, Panini, can you please give us a call? 1-800-BLOODY-HAPPY-HOUR. That's how you can reach us. Or message us, or actually just send us a Venmo, and in the caption of the Venmo, say,
hey, this is Sherri Papini.
Hey, this is Sherri Papini, and the key is under the flower pot. Oh, this is Deborah Collier.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't with this. I can't.
I can't, but I know what do you think's gonna happen to her in jail? Do you think how many people are gonna try to go down on her and suck her toes?
No, none of them.
What are they gonna try to stick a broomstick in her butt?
She's gonna get out. She's gonna write a book like Casey, right? Casey's trying to write a book. Anthony.
Oh, this bitch. Nobody's picking that up.
Jodi Arias. What did she do the same thing?
Is she still
she's trying to write a book?
Is she not? I don't know. We got to do Jody. She is a treasure.
Who did she blame? She blamed a Mexican what? Girl? Boy?
She just said it wasn't her. She changed her story like 14 times.
Okay.
But Casey Anthony is trying to write a book, but I don't think anybody's going to pick up her book or her Netflix story, because the last I heard is that whenever she was like talking to them about it, like she will stop and be like, no, we're doing this instead. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah. And then it fizzles out. But I think that maybe a really, really fat lady will get roomed with Panini.
Oh.
And like will fart around her and like smell bad and won't shower and will just make her life so completely miserable.
And she'll file a whole bunch of complaints.
And then Keith is going
she can't go to jail because she's vegan. Isn't she the one that said that?
Oh my gosh, she was. Was it that her who she said she couldn't be in
because I'm gluten free.
She couldn't eat the food.
Go to jail. I can't eat.
Well, you know what? You didn't eat for 3 weeks, so
maybe
bye.
You'll be 64 pounds.
Bye.
Oh, y'all. I hope you're as pissed as I am.
Keith, if you're out there and you're listening, I just need to tell you, just grow one ball and it'll be okay. And you're going to get through this.
Yeah.
Poor Keith. Even though you have 2 little paninis running around.
Keith, change your last name.
Yeah, just let's start with that.
Start new. Change those kids' last name.
Actually, just turn gay. That's where you need to go.
Listen, dads, if you have a stay-at-home mom that sends the kids to daycare, that's a red flag. Every day, red flag. She really don't want to be a mom. She just wants to stay at home, and the kids are in the way. So she's either going to kill the kids or she's going to fake a kidnapping and blame it on all the Mexican women.
But if you are working and you can't afford to have a wife who is a stay-at-home mom, you can call me. I will stay at home and be your mommy.
You can go be
mommy.com?
No, you can be Keith's and Sherri's stepmommy.
I thought about that.
He wasn't cute enough.
He just looks too much like that dude from Adam Sandler movies.
Oh.
Yeah, and he cries a little too much. He's probably real boring in bed. I can't handle that.
That one's a good story.
I know. Yay, everybody.
Yay.
So all you new listeners out there, you're welcome. Go rate, review, and subscribe. Only tell us good things. And I don't think I said like that much, so you're welcome. And
that's it.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. We're kind of a big deal. We're on the back of cars already. We got stickers on people's mailboxes. I don't know, everything. So
thanks for listening. Thanks. Especially you, veteran listeners. We love y'all so much.
I love you. Love your show.
Send it to a couple friends. And don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF. Down to find the murderer.
Down to find. But also be the other DTF so that you don't fake a kidnapping. Bye, y'all. ASMR fired. Done.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It's all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues on January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at roguecon23.com.